Hello and welcome back to another episode of Marvel Mad. I'm your host as always, Dwayne the Captain Coffee, and we have another classic Marvel retrospective review. And this time we have Thor. It's the original Thor. It came out in 2011 and this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed going back to watch this. It come on quite nicely, especially with how the last Iron Man film ended. Where he's like, oh, so we've found it, sort of thing, and it's the hammer in the ground. But it's just a really fun film. For an introduction for an Asgardian god, this was perfect. It really was. It showed how arrogant he was, how like cocky, and he wanted to be king, and he knows he's like too powerful and righteous and all this that, and the other. But he needed to be knocked down a few pegs to really understand of what a king would be like and how he needed to build himself back up. But yeah, come out in 2011, made 449.3 million at the box office, and it had a really strong cast. Just to name a few, like Chris Hemsworth as Thor, still going strong as that character. Is so good. He plays Thor perfectly. Like back in the day, 2011 when he first did it, how arrogant he was in it, in the role. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Hit the nail on the head with him. Like again, Odin as Anthony Hopkins as Odin. Sorry, it was just perfect for the role. Again, another one that casting was fantastic. Loki, Tom Hiddleston, again, all this time now playing a massive part now in the recent MCU films or stuff like that. You'd hope to see him again soon, but again, we'll get on to that for later on down the line. But he plays Loki again. Back in the days when he's that villainous, like doesn't fit in with the family, he's always the outcast kid and wants to get one up on his like stepbrother sort of thing. Finds out he's not really part of the Asgardian lot, he's a frost giant baby, and he can handle like the cube thing, the casket, winter casket thing. Again, does so well in that or something. Idris Elba as Heimdall. I didn't totally forget he was in this, but it might just me not really watching much else than that. But this was my first introduction to Idris Elba as Heimdall. Again, brilliant sort of character, fits it well. Like the Watcher can see all and everything like that. Really nice. Natalie Portman as well as Jane Foster in this bit. Again, later down the line she goes off on one, and yeah, we'll talk about that later on. But here for Thor's love interest, really good in that lot. Having the Warriors 3, having the Destroyer being controlled by Loki and that lot, and sent out to destroy Thor and that lot. Having Clint Barton Hawkeye, having him introduced in this was really good and everything. But like expands the team out even more. It's really good. And like I say, throughout the whole film, he's going to be like, he's on the way to taking the throne over from his dad, and he becomes the new king of Asgard. And just he has to learn that he doesn't just automatically get it because of how many battles he can do. Like he goes off and like defeats a load of the frost giants and stuff, and then he starts another war where Odin has to come down and save him and go, look, pat the fucker in sort of thing, come on, behave. And then has to get cast out to relearn everything like that. And they're saying on the hammer, he who is worthy shall hold the hammer, shall hold this hammer and have the power of Thor. Really good. Like Donald Blake as well, but the ex-boyfriend, but in the comics he's like, that's his alter ego, and he has to have like a cane, and he bashes the cane onto the ground, and he turns into Thor like that. Very like a Shazam sort of thing. I'm quite glad they didn't go down that route, because it'd have been really cheesy and really daft to have that. But just to have these little subtle hints, Donald Blake, ex-boyfriend, the name, stuff like that, was really nice. And then obviously when he finds the hammer, he tries to pick it up, but he's not worthy, so he still has to learn of what it becomes to be that worthiness sort of thing. And then obviously the Destroyer gets sent down. You've got the Warriors 3 coming on to come and help him and that lot, and then he gets his arse kicked. And So yes, obviously he becomes worthy after stopping the Destroyer and gets his powers back, so then he goes back to Asgard, and like Loki's about to use the Bifrost and everything to destroy like Laffy and everything like that sort of thing, and Jotunheim and stuff. So he's like, they have a massive fight on top, which was really cool. Seeing them fight across the Bifrost and that lot, it was really nice. And obviously they have to destroy the Bifrost, so that's how he's not able to go back to Jane Foster and everything. Like all this, obviously Odin's in deep sleep basically, because he had to heal up because he's knackered basically. And again, this is another moment where like Thor is sort of proven right and everything, like it's welcome back sort of thing. But then Loki doesn't get really accepted, so he just like falls and he goes off into the Bifrost space thing, whatever you want to call him, sort of thing, into the abyss or whatever. And again, this is another point where you've later down the line a number of films, like obviously Dark World and did it do it in Ragnarok? I think he did it in Ragnarok. But again, so many times after this, you'll see is Loki dead? It looks like he is, but he's not. And then it looks like he is, and he's not. So it's like, which you're glad to really, because Loki is a massive character, and obviously you see later down the line, works out really well to have him have such a long history in that lot, which was really, really good in that lot. And like this post-credit scene is like, you know Loki's not dead, because he's sort of not mind controlling, but he's there in the background and like watching over things because they found the Tesseract, and they want Selvig to have a look at the Tesseract and go, look, just study it because of its powers and how strong it can be, sort of thing. And this makes Loki to go, ooh, interesting. Okay, what can this do? So it just really is a good film, and it really, for an origin story, perfect for this sort of character, done so well. So yeah, Thor, the original Thor, really worth doing. And I think, to be honest, when you look back at a lot of Marvel's origin stories for the characters, done so well, or even first films, like when we get to Spider-Man No Way Home, it's not really an origin story, but it's a first film for that, and it's done so well. But yeah, Thor, you do the first Thor film is done dusting, and we go on to Captain America First Avenger, which you know what I'm going to be like for that, but we'll get down, that'll be on the next episode. But yes, thank you for joining us on another episode of our retro classic reviews of the MCU or Marvel films in general. Yeah, really enjoyed it, and we'll see you all next time on another episode of Marvel Mad. Thank you very much, and goodbye.